Hey guys. Well, for those of you who follow my channel, I'm sure you probably realize, as I mentioned, I'm in the middle of moving house. Life has been so busy in this past 2 weeks. In between trying to get work done, moving a house, flying hasn't really featured particularly much. And, that's just how it goes. Sometimes other things come into play. But one thing I have managed to dig in a little bit and deal with is trying to get Nmea to play nicely with Inav and my Arcbird tracker. Now, I guess you guys need a little bit of background history. Through whatever annoying reason, the Arcbird tracker module only supports Nmea-based GPS protocols, which means u-blox does not work. Now, traditionally, Nmea always used to be the protocol of use. u-blox is a more modern one, particularly with quadcopters. It's got much higher refresh rate, things like that, and it just kind of works. But you know what? Inav apparently supports Nmea, or does it? Now, I have spent countless evenings over the last couple of weeks trying to solve getting this all to work. And if I jump back a little bit at time, what I've done on some of my aircraft, I essentially plugged my Nmea-based modem into Inav, and I took a feed off it on the transmit line from the GPS for the Arcbird tracker module. Now, great news, the Arcbird tracker module works perfectly. It tracks, it does everything that it's meant to. But things were not playing so nicely on Inav. I would find I would have a GPS lock, I would be able to arm, I'd be able to do everything, but just randomly, very randomly, it would just stop working. And, it would always come back, but you'd find you'd be half a kilometer up, boom, suddenly you'd lose your speed indicator, you'd lose your navigation, it would all just kind of go wrong. So I started thinking, well, is this the GPS that's at fault? And I swapped out all the GPSs and, same problem. I then kind of went down a different route where I started digging in and thinking, is this maybe port speeds, things like that? And I found a couple of gotchas along the way. So, for example, Inav out the box, despite what you set in the ports tab for the GPS, it will actually auto-negotiate. It even goes as far, if you had a u-blox GPS, it will actually auto-configure it to support Nmea if you chose Nmea as the protocol. It's kind of interesting because what I started to discover is that some of these outages seem to be caused by timeouts occurring. So what would happen is Inav would say, well, I've lost the GPS, and would then enter a whole process of auto-initializing and reconfiguring the GPS again before it moved forward, which is probably all a good idea until you're in the middle of flying and it all goes wrong. Now, eventually, after playing with a lot of GPS modules and chips, and I've got to be honest, I'm not hugely wise in all of this. What I eventually came to the conclusion was that whenever I run an Nmea-based GPS, I cannot seem to achieve anything greater than 9,600 baud and a 1 kilohertz refresh rate. If I put a u-blox GPS on, I'm getting a 10 kilohertz sort of refresh rate, and I have no problem. So, quite functionally in my mind, Inav doesn't actually really support Nmea. It does, but it doesn't. So for me, with my Arcbird tracker module, unfortunately, I've ended up just going down the route of saying, well, I'll just run two GPS receivers in the plane. One which is Nmea, one is u-blox. It's a little annoying. I wish there was an easier way to it. But at this stage, I can't actually find any reliable fix to this. Maybe if there's an Inav dev out there who spots this video, maybe there's some kind of information about this. Maybe there's something elementary that I'm just missing along the way, which, to be honest, there probably is. But I kind of feel that if Inav does not support anything, basically, off a 9.6 GPS, you know, which without constantly reinitializing and losing its home bearing and things, then actually it doesn't support Nmea full stop, you know, so what's the point of even including it on the list? It only adds to confusion, because from my side, I've certainly spent a long time trying to get my Nmea mode or GPS module to work, and just given up eventually. So yeah, that's kind of all I've been up to this week. On the flying front, I haven't managed to get out in any great sense. I've just pretty much spent my time moving boxes and fighting with GPS modules. But the good news is that the move is nearly done. I've got a brand new house. I'm soon to get a great big workshop in play, and which is actually the other problem I have, is I don't actually have anywhere to do any building or working at the moment. I've got the new house, but I've ended up losing my playroom. So at this point, until the new sort of workshop cabin goes in at the end of the garden, I'm just in between flying homes. So I will do my best to get out, but I somehow think that any new build projects might be slightly few and far between for the next month and a half. And after that, hey, I can get back to normal life. But hey guys, sorry for the long delays. You know, on another front, actually, whether I jump back through history, and sorry, I'm rambling a little bit here. From my side, I shipped off the Hummingbird over the last few days, so I believe that the winner of that competition is in a position, well, he should have it by now, I hope, and maybe he can fire over a message to me if he can and say, yeah, he got it, didn't get it, if he's happy. And in the meantime, I will probably, in the next week or two, pop up another video. I have another product which is sitting in the box unopened, unused, which I'm going to send on. Now, I know what it is. You guys will find out in the next week or so. But as always, the same rule of the game. Subscribe to be a potential winner. Comment on the video. Great stuff. Anyway, enjoy your weekend, guys. Hopefully you've all had a good one. I am happy to be downing tools today and just getting a little bit of relaxation in it. Cheers, guys.